You've seen it everywhere, right? On cereal boxes, juice cartons, even plant-based milks. That one little word, fortified. It kind of feels like a promise, like you're getting a health upgrade in every single bite or sip. But what if I told you that promise might be a little manufactured?
The truth is, the story behind fortified foods is way more complicated than what they're telling us on the box. So today, we are peeling back the label to figure out if this is a real health boost or if it's just some really clever marketing. Let's dive in.
It usually starts with breakfast. You've got cereal that promises extra iron, orange juice that's been boosted with calcium, maybe some almond milk with added vitamin D. They all make this super compelling case for better nutrition. And it's an easy sell, isn't it?
But to really get what's going on, we have to decode that label. What does the word fortified actually mean when you see it on a package?
Okay, it's actually pretty simple, but this is a total game changer. Fortified just means that nutrients have been added to a food that were never there to begin with. And here's the real kicker. They're almost always synthetic, lab-created versions, not the kind you'd find in nature.
And this is where things get really interesting. Fortified isn't the only word you're going to see out there. You'll also see enriched. Fortifying, like we said, is about adding something brand new, like putting vitamin D in milk. Enriching, on the other hand, is about replacing nutrients that were lost while the food was being processed, like adding B vitamins back into white flour. It's a subtle difference in wording, but it is a crucial distinction. Now let's be totally fair here. This whole thing started with really good intentions. Decades ago, fortification was a public health hero. It basically wiped out serious deficiencies like rickets from a lack of vitamin D, goiter from a lack of iodine, and anemia from low iron. But the world has changed a lot since then, and so have our nutritional needs.
And that's exactly where the story takes a turn, because while fortification solved some of those old problems, it's actually created a whole new set of concerns, 4 big ones to be exact, and they're pretty much hiding in plain sight.
So here's the breakdown of what we're going to get into. First, why synthetic isn't the same as natural. Second, how fortification can be a disguise for super-processed foods. Third, the real danger of getting too much of a good thing. And finally, what we lose when we pull nutrients out of their natural environment. Okay, first up, synthetic is not natural. This is a big one. Just because a vitamin on the label has the right name doesn't mean your body has any idea what to do with it. These lab-made nutrients in fortified foods, they're often structured differently, and your body might really struggle to recognize them and use them efficiently. Let's just use folic acid as a perfect example. That's the synthetic version of folate, which you find naturally in things like leafy greens. Well, here's the problem. A huge number of people have a common gene variant that makes it really hard for their bodies to process synthetic folic acid. This can lead to a buildup in the body, which could be harmful. All right, concern number 2. Let's talk about the company these fortified nutrients are keeping. Does adding a few vitamins to a food that's otherwise unhealthy suddenly make it good for you? Well, here's the thing. Fortification has become an incredibly powerful marketing tool. Just think about sugary cereals, snack bars, processed breads. A lot of the time they're stripped of all their natural goodness. So companies just add a sprinkle of synthetic vitamins and minerals, slap a health claim on the box, and call it healthy. Our third concern is the very real risk of overload. Think about it. If your cereal is fortified, and your bread is fortified, and your milk is fortified, and then you take a multivitamin on top of all that, you could be getting way, way more than your body actually needs. And when it comes to vitamins and minerals, there is absolutely a tipping point where more is not better. In fact, it could be harmful. Too much iron, too much vitamin A, or that folic acid we talked about can really strain your organs and just throw your body's delicate nutritional balance completely out of whack. And finally, our fourth concern. Let's talk about synergy. In nature, nutrients are team players. They just don't fly solo.
Just think of an orange. The vitamin C in it works together with bioflavonoids and fiber and all these other enzymes to help your body absorb and use it properly. They're a complete package, a team. These isolated lab-made vitamins, they're missing their teammates. They simply can't replicate that beautiful, complex symphony you find in a whole food.
So after all that, what's the solution? Well, it's actually refreshingly simple. We can just ditch the manufactured nutrition and get back to nature's original plan. So instead of reaching for something with synthetic folic acid, go for natural folate from leafy greens. Instead of fortified milk, maybe choose grass-fed dairy to get your calcium and K2. This is really your roadmap for finding real, bioavailable nutrients exactly where nature intended them to be.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? If you're going to remember just one thing from our conversation today, please make it this.
At the end of the day, fortification has largely become a marketing fix. It's a way to put a health halo on processed, nutrient-poor foods to make them seem like a smart choice when, really, they're anything but.
So, the next time you're shopping, try to look past the flashy promises on the box. As our source material puts it so perfectly, your body will thank you for choosing real nourishment over manufactured nutrition. It kind of leaves you with a question to chew on, doesn't it? What does real food actually mean to you? It's a question worth asking. Thanks so much for joining me.